Hello, Evie.
Hello, dear friends. It's Love Coach Scott Catamas, and I'm here with Jasmine Bear, and we are traveling. We're on our road trip, and we're in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm not going to be able to be on tonight's show. First show I've missed live in a long time, but I've chosen a very, very special replay. It's a replay from exactly 1 year ago, when very suddenly one of our beloved elders, Chief Golden Light Eagle, passed away. And so I organized a memorial online service for him. Chief Phil Lane came in to help co host, and we had people sharing beautiful stories about Chief Golden Light Eagle. And so that's what we're going to be playing. I want to thank my friend Lesme, who's our wonderful VA, who's going to be actually showing the video recording. And you're going to see it all the way through as it was exactly 1 year ago when we first played it. So I will be back tomorrow night for the Awakening World. We're also going to be showing another replay, but I'll be there to host it. And it's a wonderful show from way back on Saturday Night Alive. Like it was about the sixth or seventh show we did. And it was on Sacred Activism with Marianne Williamson and Andrew Harvey and some wonderful music. Mirabai Devi comes and provides her offerings. Larisa Stow plays music. It's a great show. So I'll be with you tomorrow night for that. And then on Sunday, it's a full live show with my special guest, Mandolin Reese, also known as the Street Angel, all about how she uses her Earth Angel talents to go out into the world and promote peace. So looking forward to seeing you again soon. And this is Jasmine Bear and Scott. Yep, we're on our way. Enjoy the show. And do leave comments. I look forward to seeing what you guys all have to say about it. Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Catamas, and this is a very special edition of Straight Talk that I do every week with my teaching partner, Trish Wright. And we a few days ago, got the very sad and surprising news that Chief Golden Light Eagle had passed away. He was young. I believe he was 65. He had recently turned 65. And so we changed the topic of tonight's show and decided to do this memorial service. And it's going to be a very spontaneous show. We're going to have a lot of different people kind of coming in. Some of our speakers you probably are in right now as attendees. So please use the chat box to let me know that you're here. I will promote you to panelist. And we're really super grateful to have Brother Chief Hereditary, Chief Phil Lane, with us. Phil has been one of our favorite presenters on Saturday Night Live. He is a very beloved brother, and he knew Chief Golden Light Eagle far more than I did. So Phil, I'm putting the full spotlight on you, and I'd love to just invite you to tell us a little bit about this man that we are remembering tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I think I want to first of all, for giving me a call, because it really set off a very profound process within me in terms of the prophecies and so forth. But before we go any further, I'd like to say a prayer. This is very, to me, this is what Tahashi Lauren's life was about, is prayer. He would always like to pray. And to him, singing was praying. Singing was praying. All of it was a prayer. So in that way, I want to say a little prayer here. O Tunkashla Wakantaka, creator of the universe, most beloved one, all powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate one, ever forgiving one. O ancient of days, O most beloved one, we call upon your holy power at this time and give thanksgiving for our beloved relative, Chief Golden Light Eagle, Tahashi Lauren Zephyr, and all the relatives have gone on with him to the other side camp. Greg Zephyr, Buzzy Zephyr, all the Zephyrs family, and all those relatives of Hihawa Chasha, Owl Man, and all those sacred prophecies. We give thanksgiving in this manner, in a great way. We give thanksgiving that the human family has recognized the passing of a great being, that so many wonderful, great beings have been passing these days, and yet through the kindness and beauty of the Spirit, our Hanktawa people, our Yankton people, and our human family are honored by the life of a man that we're going to speak about. But I'd like to pray to begin with. Otun Kashla Wakataka, Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all-powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate one, ever forgiving one. We humble ourselves at this time in calling all the tribes and nations of the east, from where comes the red sunrise, the south from where comes new life, the west from where comes thunder, lightning, and rain, and north from where comes the white snow, to come together in unity and harmony in Father Sky and Mother Earth. And we pray that, and we know with faith that Chief Golden Light Eagle, your beloved grandfather, grandson, father, husband, friend, Dahashi, Dekshi, Sundance leader, has made his journey to the other side camp. And we know that his prayers are with us in each and everything we do. We give thanksgiving for that, most creator, most beloved one. And we especially give honor to Father Sky at this time, to all the masculine elements, all his beloved brothers, Tashi's brothers, all the masculine dimensions, Greg, Zephyr, especially want to remember all those lineages, all we might come to unity and harmony, which I know is my Tashi's greatest prayer. And we humble ourselves before our beloved Mother Earth, which Tahashi, Lauren always spoke about Mother Earth, but Mother Earth and all the universe. So we give thanksgiving in that way to our mothers, and ask that we might step forward in the spirit of unity. O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal unto them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps to the light of knowledge, and share their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their help and their Lord. So, what has been called to being here is that, many great leaders have gone, from Standing Rock, our great leader of women there, our beloved, she's gone. There's many others have gone, but why is it that Tahashi, Lauren Zephyr, Chief Golden Light Eagle, why is it that the Spirit has moved like this? I want to give you a little bit of history here. We met together in 1987 when they were bringing out the White Buffalo Calf Pipe with Orville Looking Horse. He'd been up to see us in February. And we met, and there was always a kinship. There's always a kinship when you feel relatives. And especially through Greg Zephyr. Now, Greg is the main guitarist. They're the ones that started Indigenous. And so that playing of music that Lauren loves so much comes from there. And so when we met, I had always felt this really warm and loving feeling from Lauren, because one thing about him, and I know, you have to know that he went through such incredible tests and difficulties. I mean, you have to know from the soul of your souls. I mean, for him to stand up and start embracing the human family in the early 90s, and I remember very clearly when that happened. I remember the vicious attacks he went under. Oh, you're going to share it. But he knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, so it wasn't something like that's what I know about Tahashi. It wasn't about the fact that somehow he was surprised. He knew ahead of time that by standing up for what he knew was true and embracing the human family, that he'd be attacked, and he was attacked. And the thing was, he never stopped. He never stopped. He never stopped embracing our human family. Any human being who came to him with an open heart and mind, he welcomed. And people came around him. I know this. I've heard stories other people who would say, oh, these people are crackpots. But he would be loving and kind and compassionate. So I wanted to say that much from my personal experience. You know, we haven't had a lot of time together, but I want to especially, again, you know, from Hihama, this is the direct relative of myself, of Tahashi, of so many of us. And it's through him that the sacred prophecy of the white buffalo was fulfilled, the slaying of the white buffalo, Matogi, brown bear. And that whole lineage comes down through him right there to Lauren. Now, there's if you look at this gift Lauren had, because you have to know that when Lauren stepped out at different points, and for instance, when he took the name Chief Golden Light Eagle, when he took that name, do you have any idea? I'm sure you do. How in the world, or indigenous world, reacted? Oh, look at this guy, this phony guy. This guy is, taking this phony name, and so forth and so on. Oh my God! But he knew, he understood that sometimes you have to shake things up a little bit. But he did it in such a loving and kind and compassionate way. That's what I loved about Tahashi Lauren. He always did it in a compassionate way. Way more than me. I can be a little more ornery. And that's why I'm still probably staying around at 77 winters. And the creator called me out of this wall of pain, so to speak. But anyway, there's more I could say. But I wanted to say that there's so much of this lineage of who and why this lineage of the Zephyrs. You know, the Zephyr family is so, I mean, there's so much. Then you can go on to the other families, are all interconnected. But now's the time of unity, and I think that's the number one thing that I can say, that I can really applaud from the bottom of my soul and the heart of my hearts, and the soul of my souls, and that is Lauren always embraced the entire human family. I never knew him in any actions or anybody ever spoke to me of any human being coming to him in need and being turned away. Never. Now, I'm sure people, there's always contrary stories. As they say, with the cry of truth raised, so is the cry of denial. Well, tonight's a celebration as our journey. I'm finished with this, then I'm going to step back. But my dad told me, he said, this is how it is, so got to imagine this, Lauren loved to ride horses. Chief Golden Light Eagle. So just imagine this. He gets on his very best horse. Got eagle claws in his shoulders and eagle eagle feathers in his mane. Thunder and lightning on his different eagle. He's got to have some elk on it. And there he is, boy. There's a little hill up there and he's riding up that hill. And those of us on this side are saying, there he goes, there he goes. But the other side camp, they're saying, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. And he's here with us. He's sharing stories of what he went through, what he had to face, to really, truly honor oneness. We are one human family. The hurt of one is the hurt of all. The honor of one is the honor of all. this is what his life was about, from my understanding. And tonight, I think that's probably what people want to talk about sideways. That's fine, but tonight, that's what we're focusing on. So I better close at this point. I got carried away, but I love you all. But I want to give some context of this whole thing. You know, life is not sometimes easy. It is tough. And that's what Tahanshi went through. He went through some, but he had, I don't know how he did it, really, truly. I couldn't do it. So loving and smiling, especially, oh my God. Okay. Anyway, I love you.
Well, we love you so much. And it's beautiful to have you with us, Phil. Thank you so much. And we're not done with you, Phil. We're definitely going to ask you to come back in a little bit. A reminder, I see that we've got about 60 people in our Zoom room. So for those of you that are attendees, if you wish to share a little bit about your experience of Chief Golden Light Eagle, please send me a message in the chat box. Tell me a little bit about your relationship, what you'd like to share, and we will look forward to, and I'll promote you to panelist and put you on. I am going to put the spotlight on Michael. And Michael, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your relationship with our beloved. And I believe you have a little bit of music you're going to play.
Yes. Where to begin? I met Chief at a conference. He had been brought in as a keynote speaker, and it was in Columbus, and it was called Angels and Aliens. Right before this, I was featured on the History Channel, and they had some medical work done, and the conclusion was I didn't have normal human blood. So they set up for, you need to know I was adopted, so I didn't know my heritage at this point. Because of that and the blood anomaly, I met my birth mother for the very first time and my two sisters. And I found out I am Seneca Iroquois, almost pure blood, but not the, I guess just a drop is all that matters. But I found out my heritage for the first time, and I thought, boy, wouldn't it be fantastic to be able to meet chiefs of different, tribes and the grandmothers and elders. And my next thought was, well, how's that going to happen? I kind of felt like an instant Indian, you know what I mean? Like people were like, dude, you're probably Italian, so I had no clue. The next thing that happens is I'm at this Angels and Aliens conference, and Chief Golden Light Eagle just walks right up to me out of nowhere. And he goes, so you're from the Great Lakes area? And I said, yes. He goes, oh, you're one of those Atlanteans. And he chuckled. And I was like, wow, what? And he said, Michael, I need the Nephilim ambassadors to be at my Star Knowledge conferences, and I need your energy. Will you come and speak? And again, I was just baffled. But you see, this is me asking Spirit. I would love to meet people like all of you, you know what I mean? And it's been such a blessing to meet Clifford Mahooty, meet Chief Blue Star Eagle, Bear Cloud. It's been a blessing, and it all came through Chief Golden Light Eagle. But truly what happened was we quickly learned of our love of music. And he learned also that I'm pretty good at learning songs. So he's like, Michael, since you're so good at learning songs, here's 3 more, And next thing I knew, we were playing in every Star Knowledge conference that I attended, which is a lot since 2014. But a part of this whole process is I got my Native American First Nation spiritual name, which is Rainbow Warrior Eagle. And so the next time we went up to perform, he goes up to the microphone and he says, we are the Eagles. He had such a wonderful, beautiful sense of humor. I seen him just take a whole audience and everyone is just busting up. He had the most wonderful sense of humor. And he told me many times, humor is the best medicine that there is. So I guess that will lead into one of the songs he really loved playing with me. Man, I'm gonna start crying. Is Knocking on Heaven's Door. And we talked about it profusely because me and him said, you know what, this is a beautiful song. Some people think it's kind of negative, or it's not. Those first lyrics, you know, Mama, take this badge off of me. I'm done policing others, you know. Then it goes into, Mama, put these guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. And when you look at it from that standpoint, it's like someone who's cleaned their chakra systems and they're ready. They're knocking on heaven's door and they're going to be let in. He's there now. So with that being said, I was actually hesitant because I didn't know how this would be looked at. But Chief Phil said, no, I'm the elder and I want you to play that song. So with that being said, I'm going to try not to break up. Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feels like we're knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama, put these guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. Getting dark, too dark to see. Feels like we're knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Yeah, I'm gonna miss playing the music with him. He was one of the best musicians and being a guitar player, man. I'm like, this is playing with Carlos Santana. You know, he's one of the greatest musicians I've ever met. So thank you for letting me honor him and the music we shared. And there's so much more, but I know we got a lot of people. So bless you. Thank you for that moment to share. Can't hear you now, by the way.
Please come on back. or stick around, because we would love to have you play another song a little bit later on in the show. And that was beautiful. Absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put the spotlight on my friend Fumi. Fumi, of course, is who has helped to get the peace polls out to the world. I am so proud to have one in my front yard, right at my driveway. I noticed that Chief Phil had one. And Fumi, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Scott. And, you know, I just feel full. My heart is full, and I can feel all of our hearts united right now in such reverence and gratitude to Chief Golden Light Eagle. And I know many of you here have known him a lot longer than I have and can speak in depth. My meeting with him has not been long, but you know that when you meet someone that touches you deeply and that you instantly have this very deep connection, like it's almost like a connection that goes through our ancestors for many, many eons of time, and you connect in such a deep way and a deep knowing about each other on a soul level. And that was my meeting with Chief. And we did 3 very, very sacred ceremonies together. And just recently, I saw him 4 months ago at the Serpent Mound spring solstice event. So I have him very close to me just recently. He loved anything to do with love and peace. He was a man of love, always, always, always. And he loved the message, may peace prevail on earth, connected it and aligned with it in a very deep and sacred way. And he always welcomed the prayer ceremony that we would offer. He understood the depth of how important it was to send peace out to the world with his drums. He would always have his drumming, you know, the community there with the drums, sacred songs, and to send and embrace every ancestors of the nations that we would send and invoke peace in 193 countries with the flags of the world. He absolutely was just spot on, just connecting with the ancestors of the global family and bringing in the star family, the star knowledge, the star wisdom. It was such sacred memories and sacred moments that I personally had with him in ceremony. And Chief was all about ceremonies. His life was a living ceremony. And it just, you know, there's so much I can say. I know there's so many of you who would like to talk and share, but I would like to offer a prayer now in Japanese. You know, Chief really had a deep understanding of vibration, sound, vibration, of course, symbols, the star knowledge symbols, but he often talked about the sacredness of language, sound. And I'm offering this prayer in Japanese. It's the original sound vibration of may peace prevail on earth, which the founder and author of this universal message, Masahisa Goi of Japan, taught us over 70 years ago about this prayer, which is carried on the peace bowl. So I'd like to say that in Japanese. It's 4 lines. The prayer goes, may peace prevail on earth. May peace be in our homes and our countries. May all our divine missions be accomplished. We thank you, guardian deities and guardian spirits. So let me offer this to Chief Golden Light Eagle. 世界人類が平和でありますように。日本が平和でありますように。私たちの天命が全うされますように。守護霊様、ありがとうございます。守護神様、ありがとうございます。May peace prevail on earth. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Fumi. And actually, people are asking how they can get a peace pole.
Oh, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
please plant it in honor of Chief. He really loved these peace poles. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And just a reminder to people watching, if you are in our gallery view, if you're an attendee, please text us in the chat box. Let us know your relationship to Chief Golden Light Eagle and if you'd like to speak and what you'd like to say. And that's how we're bringing some people in. And I'm now going to bring in Jamie Crick. Jamie is also known as Beautiful Standing Dear Woman. And thank you, Jamie. It's nice to have you with us.
Hi, everyone. It's so beautiful to be in this space with everyone. And I might get emotional, but that's something that Chief reminded me was one of my gifts. And yeah, where to even begin? I met Chief when I went to a Star Knowledge conference out at Grandmother Tree. And a group of us girls, guys from Chicagoland were all like, let's go meet this Chief. He seems pretty cool. We've seen his YouTube videos. Let's go out there. And we showed up, had no idea what we were doing, but it was so beautiful and so synchronistic. And as many of you know, all of our interactions with him are. And from there, it was just, so serendipitous. They were doing an amblecha at Grandmother Tree, which is in Wyoming. Many of you know, and many of you have been out there with him. And he invited anyone that wanted to go up and fast. And so a couple of us did. We were very eager. And that's the wonderful thing about Chief, is he saw brightness in everyone. And if you, in your heart, felt like you were meant to do something, meant to lead, he said, yeah, come on up. And that was one of the things that he really pushed me to do. I later became an MC of the Star Knowledge conferences, and Fumi, I saw you in Atlanta. So good to see you on here. And Michael, we drove out to Estes Park together. So it was just,
Yes.
he has brought community together from all over the world. And it's hard to even say how much impact he's made, because it's still rippling, you know. One of the things that I really appreciated about Chief is how he honored women, and how he said, listen to the women. And that you don't hear that often, you know, or at least I didn't. And it felt really good to be recognized in that way. And so he would put me in the spotlight, and he'd be like, all right, speak. I'm like, I'm a 20-something-year-old white girl from Tennessee. I don't know how to talk about this to anyone. He's like, just speak from the top of your heart. And oh, hi, Michelle. And so we got to speak, and I had the opportunity of doing some sweat lodges with him. And the first sweat lodge I ever did with Chief, I needed to cry, and I was embarrassed. And you know, Chief, he doesn't care about embarrassment. He's like, you know, just get over it. He'll laugh it off with you, and you're like, why are you laughing right now? I'm so emotional. And but he told me, I was laying there near the altar, and he was just like, let it out. I bawled my eyes out. And it felt so good. And he was like, you help people cry who don't know how to cry. And I kept that with me for a very long time, and had an opportunity to be with him on the reservation and at these conferences. And one of the songs that he taught me was, as well as many people, was the Lemurian grandmother song. And I would love to share that with you all tonight. It's the 13 Lemurian grandmothers. And if you sing it 13 times, they come in. And we'll do the elk version of it, direct and to the point. We don't have to do it 13 times. But I'd love to share that with you all. Takiapi, Takshai Nazi Washewi, Ye. Wonka Tonka Tonka Shila, Unchimaka. Hidama, Wopida. Wambli Yojaja Zizi, Ikancha, Pitama, Wopida. Kihako Washewi, Pida, Wopila. Wichakpi, Winya, Pidama. Unchikia, Kimimila to Washewi. Kimimila Wimuke, Washewi, Pidama. Yau Maru Rakunamu Kumasia Kia Ranu Pea Ramu Bara Reke Sita Kumu Yau Maru Rakunamu Kumasia Kia Ranu Pea Ramu Mara Reke Sita Kumu Yau Maru Rakunamu Kumasia Kia Ranu Pea Ramu Mara Reke Sita Kumu Yau Maru Rakunamu Kumasia Kia Ranu Pea Ramu Mara Reke Sita Kumu Yau Maru Rakunamu Kumasia Kia Ranu Pea Ramu Mara Reke Sita Kumu.
Janie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
was
you
so beautiful.
for your song.
That was Chief's song. It was Grandma Chandra actually who gave those words to Chief and channeled that in, and the melody as well. One of the last things that I'll say that Chief always said is instantaneous forgiveness. Always, no need to hold on to anything, just instantly forgive. So thank you for letting me speak, and thanks for holding this tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your words, and thank you to everyone who's been here to show up to really support Chief Golden Light Eagle this evening. I'd love to share some pictures. Can we pull that up right now? Of this beautiful man that we're celebrating his life, his legacy, his wisdom, how he touched all of us. He looks like he gives great hugs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is Very cool. Both Trish and I are in Sacramento with our dear friends AJ and Lucas Fox, who are providing the production facility. And so thank you, AJ and Lucas. And tomorrow night, we are going to be coming live from here with an amazing show called a Wholehearted Recovery Program. Wholehearted Org is promoting and collaborating with us tomorrow night. So we'll tell you more about that. I also want to acknowledge a lot of friends, a lot of people that I know that are joining us. And I'm going to try and get you all in. I'm going to go to Michelle Anderson next. And Michelle, I'm really glad you were able to join us. And I know you have something very special to share.
Oh, I was so touched to hear Janie sing that. And I could just feel my heart moving when the memory came up of when Chief was sitting at my kitchen table telling me the history of that song after Janie and Melissa had sung it on our dolphin boat. And the dolphins seemed to kind of go with the song, almost like, you know, they kind of went along with the way that the women were singing this song. And he had so much to share with the world. And my feeling right now is that if we could all model the wisdom that he brought forth, if we could really live it every day, there would be peace on earth. Absolutely. He inspired us. He nudged us. He opened our hearts. At many of these gatherings, there were a lot of opportunities for us to heal things that would come up. You know, one of the things that I admired so much was how human he was. And the instantaneous forgiveness piece, Janie, is, I think, you know, that is part of the legacy here. How we can all gravitate towards that teaching, especially during these times. And it's so nice to see Michael Lee Hill and Fumi John Stewart and Fanny and Chief Phil, who's stayed here as well, and is cousins with our dear Chief Golden Light Eagle, Lauren Zephyr. And I see Kat. I don't see Grandma Chandra in her little square anymore, but it was nice to catch her when I just jumped on because I was on late. And Ilio Goodman, I met you in Joshua Tree at Contact in the Desert. I never even knew you had spent that time with Chief in 2004. So it's just, it blows my mind to see how far this man's reach was. The people that are coming out of the woodwork saying, you know, I met him then, or I never got the chance to meet him, but they had heard of him. They knew of his teachings. And Athena, I remember when Athena met him as well. And we've all had such a glorious walk with both him and his brother, Sherwin, who passed away 4 years ago tomorrow. It's uncanny to see some of the synchronicities that are happening right now with the way he's already communicating with so many of us. I'm getting stories, you know, a lot of people are texting me and telling me their stories. And Michael will be happy to hear some of the songs that he has been playing for me, like the trickster clown he was sometimes. The stuff that I can't, there's so many things that have already happened. One of the first ones, and I shared this on Awakening Code Radio on Tuesday night, because, you know, grief is a fascinating emotion to deal with. And I was so grief struck, I didn't think I could actually do my radio show on Tuesday. And I couldn't imagine just talking about whatever topic that was going to be on. I this was a monumental event in my life. And my radio partner, Eric Rankin, held such impeccable space for me to process that grief. And we were able to do that on air, just organically. It wasn't, wasn't planned, but I was able to share some of the things that have come through. And one of the songs that he played for me that just instantaneously popped up, and this was when he was still physically here, right before he passed over. The song came on my Bluetooth, and it was called "It Ain't This Ain't Goodbye" by Train. I'd never heard that song before. Somehow it was in my phone because I had the Train album in my phone because I played Calling All Angels all the time. But that song came on, and I felt this nudge that said, listen to this song. And I didn't have time. I was busy running errands, but something was telling me I needed to listen to that song. And it wasn't until after he did cross over that I went back and listened to the song. And it starts out with something like, "We were friends from outer space." And I was like, okay, this really is something, understanding this place or something. And I did play it on Awakening Code Radio that night. And then the next song that came on, I don't know, maybe Janie knows this song. I don't know where it came from. I took a picture of it because I wanted to, it somehow is in my, I don't know if you can see that. Does it show?
New Heart by Earth Tribe.
Look at what it says, 11:11.
Wow.
It says 11:11, wake up and remember. Are you flipping kidding me? This song, I don't know this song. Whoever plays it, I want to give them proper credit, but it's in my library. Somebody must have given it to me, maybe for the show. There's some dig in there. But if I was doubting that other song, it's a coincidence that came through, this nailed it home. 11:11, wake up and remember. And it says, one heart, one voice. And then the next song that played was Madonna off the Ray of Light album. And there's been so many synchronicities with just different numbers popping forward. And then he also played me, Michael, you'll love this one. He played the Joker, I'm a Joker. How does that go? Midnight something.
Yeah, I just yeah, there's a picture of this cowboy. There's this space scene with a planet and everything. And there's this girl sitting next to that cowboy. And she goes, "How come they call you Maurice?" So I got a message, the same song.
Yeah.
Space cowboy.
A lot of the songs that you played with him have been coming through. Wow, what a master. I mean, that's what I'm really feeling right now, is how masterful he has learned. He's already navigating this other realm and giving us these messages. And I want to hear about them from all of you, because I know I'm not the only one getting them. Many people are texting me and telling me about them. And I'm sure Grandma Chandra can tell us a lot more about what she had such a telepathic relationship with him. She could probably tell us a lot more, but I see we've got more people joining us, and I don't want to hog this space. I just want to say, I feel very blessed that you're doing this, Scott and Trish and Chief Phil. Chief Phil and I had talked about doing something like this on Monday, and my grief just really overtook me, and I just wasn't in the space to put a production like this on. So I really thank you for doing it. I feel a lot more peace because of seeing all of you here. And that's been one of the hardest things for me, is contemplating, what 11/11, 11/11, 21, I know he and Jen Berryhill were planning an 11/11/21 conference. And, you know, it's always like coming home when I see all of these beautiful faces when we're together. So it feels like that right now. And thank you for all showing up. I'm so glad I was able to be here. I didn't think I was going to be able to join, but I'm really glad I was able to get home and get on.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michelle. And I know a little bit later, if you want to read what you had sent me in the text thread, I think that'd be really lovely. So if you can stick around for a few minutes and read that, that'd be wonderful. And I'd love to open it up to, I think we'll go to Eliyahu next, longtime friend of mine and beautiful beloved brother, Eliyahu. What would you like to share tonight?
Hi, John. Hi, everyone. So much love, such gratitude. And I'm so thankful and so blessed, to have been invited to the STAR conference by Chief Golden Eagle in 2004 in Mount Shasta, and shared so deeply from my heart about us being warriors of the heart, and that we are opening our hearts so much, and that it's so important to entreat and ask the women in our lives, like my beloved wife Michelle, who is part of my heart, to share their wisdom and to heal our hearts, because so many of us, have been wounded along the way, not only in this lifetime, but in past lifetimes and on other planets and star systems when we've been warriors for the light all the way through. And our hearts have been wounded, in the battles that have been fought along the way. And to treat, as I entreat Michelle, to heal my heart, and so that I can be more present, more loving, and more giving in my relationships with other men and women and children in our community, grandparents and grandsons as well, and to just be fully present. And when I shared that, Chief Golden Eagle just started laughing and laughing uproariously and joyfully, and so did some of the other elders there. And they turned to me and they said, "We're laughing so joyfully because you really are from there, and you're really sharing something that all of the men in our community need to hear, and all the men in the world need to hear." And he just continues to be with me. He comes to me and has for a long time since then, in my dreams and in my waking moments too, and just laughs and chuckles and shares his joy and says,
Introduce just her as Missy Glover.
"Keep on doing what you're doing because I love you so much."
Beautiful. So good to see you guys. I love you both very, very much. And maybe we'll come back to you in a little bit.
It's my delightful honor to invite Grandmother Chandra to come on. Would you like to share?
We need you to attune you. There she is.
Thank you. And to unmute.
There we go. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, and just if you could adjust your camera a little bit so we can see all of you.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Whatever that means. Okay. Okay, this is Grandmother Chandra. I'm her mom, Kat. And Chandra wants to share the journey of how she met Chief Golden Light Eagle and how he gave her the title Grandma. I love you all. I miss Chief very much. I have been crying, but he has been coming to me ever since he passed. In the dream states, every night we talk and we share many things together. I loved him very much. I told him that he was a 13th dimensional being. I am a 12th dimensional being. And I told him he has to work with the whales and the dolphins. Okay, what else you want to talk about? Mom, I want you to tell the story. Okay, so when Chandra was 16 years old, a friend of many of you, including our friend Marcella, grandmother Marcella brought Chief to Scottsdale, Arizona, where we lived, and had him do a presentation. And she invited me to come and hear him speak. So I did. And then it was getting late, and I know that Chandra had an aide at the time, and the aide needed to go off duty and go home. So I waited till the break, and I went up to Marcella and I said, look, I'm going to have to go home. She goes, did you hear him speak? I said, yes, I did. She goes, well, don't go home before you go up to him and tell him about your daughter and the things that she can do. Let me interrupt the story. Chandra is multidimensional. She functions on many dimensions simultaneously. There is no past, no present, no future. She is in the now time at the 0 point at all times. She has her own business and she's 16, and that was one of the things that Chief helped her start, and still has her own business today. She does service to humanity through her healings and readings. Chandra does not speak, as you can see. She does everything through her brain. She does all distance healing, creates fractal videos from quantum physics and sacred geometry. Those are her tools, which she sends to heal people. And each tool is encoded for that particular person at that particular time. So back to the story. She said, Marcella said, go over there and talk to Chief. I said, okay. I go over there and Chief has his head in a video camera, as he usually did, and no motion, no recognition, nothing. And I'm standing there, I'm kind of talking to myself. And I thought, well, I'm just going to mention my daughter. And if there is no reaction, I will just thank him and I will go home. So I said, maybe you've heard of my daughter, Chandra. It was like somebody hit this man with lightning. He stood up and he went, huh, huh, huh. Is she small and dark? I said, well, I guess you could say that. He said, this one is a very powerful teacher. Bring her to me. So he was staying. Rosalind, his wife, was with him at the time with their 2 daughters. They were staying at Marcella's house in Scottsdale. We lived kind of around the corner. So after school the next day, brought Chandra over. And then the fun began. Now, I speak quite a few languages. However, I do not speak any Native American languages. So I'm sitting there and Chandra's talking, using me as a translator. And all of a sudden I open my mouth, and what I found out later was Lakota comes out of my mouth. And I'm just going along for the ride. I'm letting this flow. Chief is crying, Rosalind's crying, and Chandra's just channeling right through me. And when we get done, I looked at her, I said, what was that all about? And Chief said, she took us on a journey of some of our past lives. And she took us on a journey of some of the lives when we were Native Americans, as we are today, and showed us all the beauty that we have brought to the earth. Sorry. Which was our mission and our path to bring up the beauty of the earth, to show others, and then everything that had happened to us because of who we were. And then after everybody stopped crying, Chief started laughing, and you know that laugh of Chief's. And he starts laughing. And he says, I know you. And he points to Grandma Chandra. He says, I know you. You are my grandma. And that's how she got the name grandmother.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
And then he said to me, I am doing a presentation in Sedona and I want her to be the chief presenter. Chandra never did anything like that in her entire life. But she says, okay, I want to do it. So she went up there and did her presentation on, please don't ask me to remember what it was, because I hold nothing. I just act as a vehicle. And people call me up and say things like, do you remember 15 years ago? No, not really. So she did her presentation, and that was the start. And over the years, we did many presentations with Chief Golden Light Eagle at various places around the United States. And just before COVID hit, he wanted Grandma and myself, of course, to come up to the res. We'd never been to the res, and to teach the children. He wanted her to teach the children. And then COVID hit, so we didn't go. And then we just talked about it again in February. And Chandra said, but not now. It has to be after Sundance. So be it. Do you want to? Yes. She wants me to tell two funny things. Okay, so one time we're up in Cave Creek, Arizona. He was going to do a big conference there. He was there, a whole bunch of people, including Grandmother Marcella, of course. And we're all sitting outside in these lawn chairs in like this big circle. And all of a sudden, Chandra grabs my hand and says, Mom, I want to talk to Chief. So I said, Chief, Chandra wants to talk to you. So he's like, okay. So she goes and sits in the chair next to him. And of course, they're telepathing together. And we're all just sitting there. All of a sudden, she goes, whap, and hits him on the side of his head. And everybody in the circle is like, oh my God, she hit the Chief. And he is laughing. What's going on? And Chief said, she told me I'm not listening. I have to pay attention. Oh my God. And then one other funny thing. Oh, I love this. This is my favorite one. Okay, so we were doing a Zoom presentation. This must have been maybe last year. Anyway, we're doing this Zoom presentation. And at the end of, when Chandra gets done doing her talk, we say, is there anybody who has any questions? Okay, fine. So there was a little bit of silence, and Eagle speaks up and he says, Grandma, I only have one question. Who came first, the chicken or the egg? And she did not skip a beat or a breath. She grabbed my hand and went, the eagle. You want to tell them anything else? Yes, I want to tell them how sad I am because of his passing. Sometimes she cries through me because of his passing, and I love him very much, and I have been in the dream state. Mom, tell what happened before he passed. Oh, right. Okay. The night before he passed, I had a dream about him. I've never dreamed about Eagle in my entire life. I usually don't dream about living people. I have incredible dreams every night, but they're total strangers or they're people who have gone to the other side. So I had this dream. Now, I've only known Chief 20 some years. So I didn't know Chief when he was 35 years old, but the man in the dream was 35. He was young, vibrant. He had long black braid, down his back, and he was laughing. And I was so happy to see him, and I was laughing also. And I woke up, and then I said, oh, this is the sign he will pass today. And sure enough, about 6-7 hours later, I got the word that he had passed. So yes, we are grieving, we are sorrowful, but we loved him very, very much. I mean, she said, I asked her before we got on here, I asked her, yes, he has not made a decision as to what he's going to do yet. This is why he's still around all of us, many of us. He's appearing in our dreams, appearing in our realities. But he is okay. He is well. He is happy. Aho, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
What an amazing delight to have both of you joining us and for us to experience your unique medicine.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grandmother Chandra and Mama Cat. Your stories are all of your stories. I was never blessed to meet this wonderful man, but I'm learning about him now, and it's deeply touching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited to introduce Missy Galore. I've only met you through light touch morning practice, but here we go.
Is that enough? Okay.
And Missy, we need,
yes, I'm just, I'm so touched, and I had the great fortune to meet Chief the same time I actually got to meet Grandma Chandra and Kat at the Star Knowledge Conference in Mount Shasta during the Venus transit. And it's just so inspiring to be in that constellation of association with so much wisdom shared and so much community brought together. And I just remember us culminating with a serpent dance and everybody in the gathering snaking around and playing music and dancing together. And then there's this moment where, flowing as the serpent, you get to leap from one world to the next and dance a portal, living stargate together. Just growing so much inspiration and community and friendships through this association that just touched my life so much. And with his star knowledge, it really empowers us all to come into our galactic heart truth and the resonance that we are really all one in this living organism of creation, coming together to create a beautiful loving kindness vibration that is peace through culture in the dance of life, honoring every being's unique spark of light. And with so much wisdom and guidance, that he had, he also carried such a joyful lightness, and that idea that forgiveness is our immediate gateway into the divine, flowing us beyond the portal of the space-time into the one heart. That resonant, beautiful, rhythmic beat, animating our spark of life, allowing us to dance and play together, share our gifts. And in this tender quietness, gentle space, as the veils between the worlds open up. I give thanks that even in his passing, here he is, bringing us together, inspiring us in love, in unity, and in the oneness. And I really, it's just you. I've been listening to a lot of his YouTubes just to feel their presence here and honoring the way that the grids of creation have been eternally seeded and nurtured with gardens of goodness sprouting all over the planet, everywhere he shared, and that ripple effect as it radiates from one heart to the next, inspiration, glowing love light for the benefit of all life. May he rest in peace and power and prowess and heart bliss. Peace in our heart, peace and love. Fill it up to overflow, pouring out all the world can know. Peace and love. Peace in our heart, peace and love. Filling up to overflow, pouring out all the world can know. Peace and love. So respect and gratitude for all that's shared. May these seeds of kindness blossom everywhere. In love, evolution. Thank you, Chief, for being a way shower. Thank you for all the torch bearers. Thank you for all the sparks of light joining in this constellation of love. In this now and through all now. Just humbled to share this beautiful life together. I love you, dear friends.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Missy. Wow. A lot of wonderful friends have gathered. I just have brought Suzette Marie on camera or into our panelists, so we're going to bring you up in a little bit. Fanny Starchild, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to play. You are? Okay. I think this would be a wonderful moment. We've heard so much. Beautiful what Missy shared, of course, what Grandma and her mother shared. So I'm going to turn it over to Fanny Starchild. She's one of our favorite musical artists. And Fanny's going to play some harp. And let's all just kind of drop in. And I'm going to ask our wonderful production person here to maybe show some images of Chief Golden Light Eagle while Fanny plays her harp. Oh, take it away, Fanny.
Thank you. This song is a new song called Breathe. Breathe with me. There's a fresh wind blowing through. Breathe. Let the good life into you. This is a song from Sweet Vigary and I. He sends his love. Thank you. Breathe, there's a fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into. Breathe, let the fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. Get out of isolation. It only keeps us apart. The only solution is the way of the heart. As we rise in every nation, we are gonna get this right. We the people grow into generation fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. It's a celebration as we rise above. We be together in the arms of love. We are earth angels, spreading peace and love for the love of us all. We can rise in love, in love. Breathe, there's a fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. Breathe, there's a fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. There's a transformation that's going on around you. Can you see the reflection of something you feel inside? It's a revelation. We the people together in love revolution for the sacred world. Breathe, let the fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. Breathe, let the fresh wind blowing through. Breathe, let the good life into you. The prophecy says of the white buffalo, it will come, so it has. Here we are, the rainbow people are rising, rising. The rainbow people are rising as lovers of the earth, as the peacemaker. We are the earth angels rising. We are, here we are. Oh my, oh my, oh my,
beautiful.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful.
Thank you so very much. I hope it soothes your soul of the one heart of your hearts. And thank you so very much for having me here. I am so deeply touched by your love and by all of you are so beautiful. I so love you so very much. The global peace tribe, and so it is.
And so it is. How blessed we are to be part of this amazing tribe.
Totally.
I want to invite a couple people we haven't heard from yet, and we're going to go to Lori Dearheart next.
Lonnie.
Hi, Lori.
Lonnie.
Lonnie. Oops, sorry. But we're not hearing you. We're not hearing you for some reason, Lonnie.
One moment.
Is that? Oh, no, because I did hear it before. So Lonnie, maybe if you could work on your audio a little bit, and we'll go to somebody else and we'll come back to you, okay? And again, just want to welcome everybody. We kind of shifted gears when we learned about Chief Golden Light Eagle passing. And so we decided to dedicate tonight to honoring him and his memory. And I want to, if I can find, I think Suzette is with us. And Suzette Marie has been a big part of putting this together. Suzette, are you with us? Let me try and, yeah, I'm going to promote you to panelist. Would love to have you come join us. And while we wait for Suzette, here is Suzanne.
Me.
Hi, Suzanne.
Is that me?
That's you. You're up.
Oh
We hear
my
you.
God. Oh, I am so grateful to you for doing this. I tried to go, I intended to go to South Dakota and I couldn't make it. And this is just the most beautiful thing in the world. This man brought together so many people and he showed an example of the most beautiful unconditional love in the entire world. And he put together my love of UFOs and my heart that stood for some reason with Native Americans. And as Michael Lee said, I'm Indian now. And he changed my life and my husband and my life. And my favorite part about him, oh, there's no favorite, but my funnest part was to rock out to the 1970s music with the guitar. And he would want us all to continue to gather. He would want us all to continue to share his example of loving unconditionally and peacefully and forgiving and loving to all of creation. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you, Lauren. I love you, Eagle. I love you, Elk. I love you so much. And I love everyone you introduced me to. And I know our hearts are all broken, but we know you're free and you're fine with your brother. Thank you.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Wow. Your love, your connection to him just feels so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. Yeah.
He's a beautiful man and a beautiful soul.
Lori, if you've been able to get your audio to work, please maybe just unmute yourself and say hello so we know that you're happening. And again, a reminder, if any of you are watching on Facebook and you want to come into the Zoom room, if any of you had a personal connection to Chief Golden Light Eagle and you want to share, we've got time for maybe 3 or 4 more people to come on and share a little bit. But you got to come into our Zoom room, and you can find the Zoom room. I'll post it. If you go to my wall on Facebook, my profile page, I'll post the Zoom room there. And
Scott, for people who don't know your name, it's Scott Catamas. He's the only one.
I'm the only Scott Catamas on the planet. Very easy to find. And so I'm looking to see if Athena wants to share. You need to turn your camera on. And Suzanne Marie, I've been trying to promote you to panelist, but you got to accept my invitation to do so.
And Lonnie, can you unmute now?
Lonnie? I'm still working to hear from Lonnie. And it's just really been amazing having all of you. So, you know what? I'm going to go to Michelle Anderson.
There we go.
Oh, that's Lonnie.
From another dimension.
Well, I got to tell you, what's happening.
Okay.
When I unmute, I go, wait. So
We hear that too.
that's she fucking with me.
It's effing with us all, my dear.
So people know me as this wild woman, but when it comes to the language that Chief and Grandmother both insisted that I come forward as the only one here that we know on the panel who, Kat, thank you for talking about the Lakota languages and languages that come through. I only met Chief in 2018, but I met Grandmother in the early 2000s. So I knew of Chief, and I just couldn't get to the Star Knowledge conferences. And so when I did at Roswell, I met all the beautiful souls here. And I continued that year to six journeys with the Chief. And he, like many others said, he kept promoting my knowledge and knowing of the ancient languages. As we journey through the new complex regions of the next generation of the golden light, the golden light, the golden light. Yes, may the peace prevail, but also newness, 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 newness. We are here centered in the newness. Honor the blessing of the multi-dimensional, multi. Judge not, fear not, remain true, remain true, remain true, remain true. Center our hearts in deep forgiveness. Here, 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 here. We're letting go. We're letting go. We're letting go. I'm back to Lonnie now. Now you know why I don't like to speak. What the hell did she say? Chief understood me. Grandma speaks to me. And every one of you here, and all the words that have been said will remain in our newness that talked about. So thank you all to the music we've shared and the memories.
Thank you so much for channeling. It's very touching.
Love you, Ronnie.
That was amazing. And
Beautiful.
each person you're sharing is so unique and so powerful. I think we're going to go to Daryl, and then after Daryl, Athena Starseed. Hi, Daryl.
You're muted.
We need you to unmute.
Okay, is that better?
Perfect.
As I say, is that gooder?
It's gooder.
All right. First, I want to say thank you, Scott, and for allowing this format to praise and honor Chief Golden Light Eagle. And I also want to say thank you to Michael E. Hill for sending me the Facebook link to notify me of this. And it's just so wonderful to see so many friends as we kind of span from coast to coast. You know, I just had posted a picture that I took. I think we took it back in 2016 when we were 17 at the solar eclipse event when Chief Golden Light Eagle was organizing us and leading us into the snake dance. And that was just a momentous occasion. And actually, he put me together with Michelle Anderson, and we were right behind him in the snake dance. And a little bit behind us was Michael E. Hill and the woman of his dreams. And it would take Michael to tell the story, but Chief asked him, "Is Michael, are you in love yet?" And he just met the woman, and they've been together ever since. It just kind of speaks to the nature, just the nature of Chief Golden Light Eagle and the several encounters I've had with him at Serpent Mound at those ceremonies. And you know, over the past several years, I made a journey to Los Angeles. I live in Ohio, just about 3 or 4 miles from Serpent Mound, Ohio. But I made a trip to California. I bought a car and I drove it back. And part of my intention was to establish what I called then the Ola Bridge Project. Michael knows about it. Standing for OHLA, from Ohio to LA, and just establishing this connection of connectivity of all these people who have been traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast. And Chief Golden Light Eagle and our circle of family that's grown, and the extensions that I'm seeing, you know, even it's wonderful to see Missy Galore here. You know, I meet at the Conscious Life Expos up in LA, and all these family members, and one day I'll meet Grandma Chandra, I would hope. But to just to acknowledge and commemorate the impact that he's had on the lives of people. You know, my conscious family was on the West Coast, and I would go to LA twice a year to the Conscious Life Expo. And then I found family here in Serpent Mound, Ohio. Just another place, a pocket where we had that energy that you only can experience when you're around people that are vibing at that. And somebody had mentioned earlier frequencies and vibrations and sounds. And I remember it was at that conference at Chief Golden Light Eagle, we were inside and we were just about to have lunch. Lunch was being served. And he looked at me and says, "Daryl, come here, sit down." And we just started talking, and we had several conversations earlier, but that was a moment where we just had a stronger connection, and his personality, his persona, and there's just a compatibility that it's just like putting on a cloak. It felt so comfortable. And then in the evenings, we would go back to our rooms, and he'd be in there playing guitar with Michael E. Hill, and all the family would come, and just the way that we united around him, you know. And just to kind of fast forward to this moment, you know, I'm also a licensed and ordained minister, and in the past year, I put a lot of people in the ground, a lot of family members that I've lost, and other people have lost as well. And this one here is really just profound because it feels just as painful as losing my blood relative family. I've done a few weddings too, so I can celebrate Chief's presence with us as well. I do regret moments that I could have been more present with him. Not that I wasn't, but now that he's gone, and those little moments are just that much more precious. And I wish I could have had like 5 more, like I would like 5 more minutes with my father. You know, I feel that way with Chief Golden Light Eagle. And I think probably a lot of people would express it the same way. You know, one of the most tantalizing experiences a human being can have, I think, is when the people you know become the people you knew. And on behalf of the Ola Bridge family and my new extended Flola Bridge family from Florida to Ohio, as Michael Lee admonished me, we got to build that bridge both ways. And Chief Golden Light Eagle was more than a bridge builder. He was a bridge, just expansive. In between he and his brother, you know, I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity and to see all the other people whose lives he's touched. And I would just hope that we, as we continue the journey that he's left for us to complete, that we'll do half the job that he has done. And I'll know I'll hear somebody somewhere one day say, "Job well done," and it'll be Chief Golden Light Eagle. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's wonderful to meet some of you. Some of you are old friends, and some of you are new friends. So nice to meet you, Daryl. Thank you. Well, this is somebody that is an old friend I haven't spoken to in many, many years. I'm going to go to Athena Starseed. Welcome, Athena. Good to see you again.
Hi, thank you guys so much. Wow, the Chief, you know, the Chief was everybody's best friend. And I've known the Chief for about 11 years before I was pregnant with my younger brother. And I met the Chief through Evan and Angelica at Sweat Lodge at Calabasas, at Allen and his girlfriend. And I couldn't do the sweat bath month, and Chief gave me this book. And it is the universal and the spiritual laws of creator. And I have read this book so many times that the pages have completely fallen out of the book. And then the last time I saw Chief, I had to get the next version of the same book so that I could keep the pages in order. And I started putting these hyper symbols, these star symbols in the earth for the last 10 years based on Chief Golden Light Eagle. And he taught me to put the symbols in and then make a circle around the symbol and activate Mother Earth. So everywhere I moved, I built a medicine wheel, and I have a medicine wheel in the backyard. She came over and grabbed the wheel and blessed the wheel. And I wanted to read a little bit from Chief's book, and then I wanted to sing a song. Chief would always call me, or I would call him, and he'd go, Athena, Athena, and he'd just start singing to me. Like he would sing, he would play, he'd play something on his guitar, I'd play something on my guitar. I mean, Chief always had music around him, and that's one of the wonderful things that I'll always remember. Because when you're beginning using toning, singing, chanting, and the drum, it alters your sense of beingness to help you move into your creator connection. It awakens the laws that are in you, that are encoded in every soul of every being. And this is access to the great karmic council. I am the one you know as a great being of freedom. I am in the East, and I am known as the Mother of Mercy. I am here to share some of the basic understandings of the sacred law that is in itself a portal of freedom. Whenever its symbol is invoked in any form, the cosmic councils are aware. cosmic councils are who resemble and are responsible for free will upon Mother Earth, known as the Great Karmic Force. It is known that this circle of decision for each and every life form, for every being in this solar system must come before the council and sit with us and then share. Then together we craft a sacred path for each incarnation into this physical world. This means that our council is responsible for all that occurs in the third dimension. It is particularly true with human beings helping each and every soul fulfill their sacred task. When this universal law is invoked, we pay attention. The universal law of free will has within it keys for ending all duality and for drawing upon unity. It has the keys of transcendence and the great coming of the universal peace. As a bringer of mercy, I wish all to know that forgiveness and understanding are the surest path to peace. This way of being judgment-free is the surest way to personal freedom, and so we invoke without judgment of each other this very nature of free will and freedom for all. Cahoma Kagiasin, all of my relations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We started with Chief Phil, and I think we've heard from most everybody. I am going to go to Chief Phil to share a little bit more because a lot of you came on after him. Oh, and there's another chief, and I don't quite know how to pronounce your name. So I'm wondering if Chief Phil, you know the gentleman that I just opened the camera up on, Mazatlan, do you know him?
Mazat Singh.
And Phil, Chief Phil, you're muted, so we need you to unmute.
I have the honor to meet him, but he looks like he has a very interesting friend there to introduce to us.
It also looks actually like a photograph as opposed to.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, I got fooled. I thought they were real. So anyway, if you turn your camera on, we'll try and go to you. But for right now, I'm going to then put the spotlight solely on our beloved brother who started us to kind of wrap things up, Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr.
Well, I really want to give you Thanksgiving, dear Brother Scott and Trish, for inviting me to come, as I shared with you when you shared with me that quest. It brought up a lot of those deep feelings about relationships and so forth, and particularly as I shared earlier, which I heard throughout this entire evening, which I just treasure, was this unabiding, fully loving of our human family as we are. And I think that the full beauty of the expression of all the relatives who shared was such a beautiful reflection. I know that Tanahashi Lauren, she is very thankful and pleased. And I want to say this last thing, because people are experiencing the spiritual worlds and this world's worth. We know without question, I know Tanahashi 100% agrees with me on this. When we're born in this physical plane of time and space, each of us is born as sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. Each of us is born there. And that when we're coming to this world, everything, any love we've ever had for any person in this world will not be forgotten in the worlds to come, spiritual worlds to come, nor will we forget these worlds and the worlds yet to come. And if we can just compare the baby in the mother's womb to this world, and here we are growing our arms and legs and eyes and ears in our womb world, and all of a sudden we're born in this world of light And of course, when you compare the womb world, womb suit of a child to the earth suit we have now, there's just, you can't even compare the womb world to this world. In the same way, when you think about the other side camp, the worlds of light, there's no way equally to compare them to anything we understand in this physical plane of time and space. But to know that what I heard here tonight was this beautiful, beautiful, really beautiful expression in each to their own person, this love. And so I would just say this, that we believe, as the Hangtuan, we believe that just as those in the spiritual world pray for us or come to us in our dreams or enlighten us, those who are on the spiritual path, so do our prayers. So our prayers as well empower those in the spiritual world. So I'll just close with this brief prayer. Remember our very beloved brother, but also know that this is the time when the prophecies said that the spiritual worlds are really one. That this is the time when the walls between the worlds are going to come apart, kind of come up to dissolve. And all of a sudden, you'll be able to be, as you well know, I've heard people speak, be right here looking at each other like this, but at the same time, you're seeing the other relatives who are standing right here with us at this time, at this moment. And that's what I think that these experiences that I heard tonight really simplify. Let's say this little prayer here. Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate, ever forgiving one, ancient of days, is asked that all those expressions in our heart, that those who have not been able to be expressed tonight, there's always more and more expressions of love, as love is a never-ending, powerful ocean, that we ask that are all that be sent to our good Toshka, our good brother, uncle, Chief, Eagle, who makes on his journey, and it will be filled with happiness and joy and have spiritual connection in this time. And thank you so much, Creator, for those that Scott and Trish and all those that came together and brought this together and said such beautiful, sharing, beloved words. And so in that way, we'll just know that this prayer continues. Continue on. Just give thanksgiving for having the opportunity to feel this beautiful feeling of love and unity and kindness and compassion. And we listen to these beautiful stories. Halimi Chante Washtelo, Shukmano Hemeado, Chunupasapas, Hemeado, Halimi Chante Washtelo. My names are Shukmano and Chunupasapa, and I stand responsible for the Creator, for my words and my actions.
Oh, thank you so much, Brother Chief Phil. And thank you. We're going to wrap up. I'm going to go to gallery view just because it's really wonderful how many people we have joining us. And just thank you, everyone, for your incredible, beautiful sharings. Music from Michael and Fanny, the beautiful sharings. And thank you very much, everybody. And let's continue throughout the weekend to remember this beautiful man and how he's touched us all. And I want to invite you to please come tomorrow night to our Saturday Night Alive show. It's going to be a really, really very, very special show. And so please join us for that. I'm going to do my best to play a little video that will give you an idea of what we're going to be doing tomorrow, because we're really excited and it's important. It's very, very important what we're doing. So we're in a studio that we haven't worked with before. So bear with me for a moment. Yeah, do you want to give it a try?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Right, there you go. Yeah. Desktop. I think quick template player right there.
Okay, yep.
Yep. Let's try that.
So I'll go down now. I think they're getting it. They're not getting it.
They're not saying getting it. Okay, let's try it.
Oh, wait, yes.
Oh, it was?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good, good.
Okay, so
Let's play.
all right, let's try again. I need to make sure though that the sound is optimized. Okay, everybody, thank you for your patience. Here we go. Let's- and if people could mute themselves, that would be great. Thank you so much. Oh, we're yeah, everybody. Hello, hello. This is now live time. This is July 22nd at 9:29 p.m. And thank you, those of you that have stayed with us. Hello, Marianne. And of course, I want to put the spotlight on Suzette, who's kind of my wonderful co-host really for today. And she was very close to Chief Golden Light Eagle. And thank you, Suzette, while I was checking in and driving for handling everything. And I'd love to just turn it over to you to share kind of what's taken place over this last year.
My pleasure. And thank you, Scott, for everything you've done since doing the memorial this whole year and rebroadcasting. Sincerely, that meant a lot to us in the Star Knowledge community, to Chief's relatives. It's been a last couple few years because there's a lot of Chief's brothers have left this earth, but there's been a lot of good things since then too. He became a great grandfather. His daughters, Nikki, her daughter Joy, gave birth to a beautiful baby boy a few months ago, and it's just this beautiful circle of life that has been happening right now as we speak. They are currently in Sundance with Chief Elk Soldier, who inherited Chief's secret bundle from his Sundance that a lot of our Star Knowledge community went to. And it's been really hard and beautiful at the same time. Chief's brother, Guy Zephyr, is doing some amazing artwork and has honored his brothers in such a beautiful and sacred way. And we see that there's this new website. Thank you so much for, I'm sorry for my typo to have a new computer. I'm like, wait, I didn't mean to send. But there's this new website that was created. It is Star Knowledge New Beginning, not an S. I love S's. Suzette, S. But
and you know what?
Star Knowledge New Beginning. Thank you for putting that up.
I'm pulling it up, yeah, as you speak. So everybody, it's starknowledgenewbeginning.com. starknowledgenewbeginning.com, and talks about the 13 moon calendar. Anything? And here's a tribute to Chief Golden Light Eagle. I think that's us, right?
Yes,
No,
I haven't pressed on it. I haven't been on this site until tonight. I wasn't sure if it was back to being live because I knew there was going to be a few changes, especially with the announcement of Star Knowledge in South Dakota this year from November 11th to 13th. The managers from that site, I believe they're going to be including, with your permission, the memorial. There's been the sacred way of moving through this year is not to work. It's just to grieve. And there's a few things created, including that website, but that's it. Because it's been a full year of grieving. And as of this week, the year of grieving is over. So now we could officially move forward and do the work. So with your permission, I know they would love to add.
Oh yeah, always do that. Well, I want to thank everybody, and people are asking where Jasmine Bear is. She's right here behind.
Yes. And I'm so happy you're in Sedona. That is wonderful. And thank you. And it was so nice meeting everybody tonight and seeing some old friends.
Say goodbye to her. She's getting groomed, so she's gonna. This is the last time she'll be furry for a while, but people will. There she is. And Suzette, we'll be in touch privately because I definitely want to see you around the time of your birthday. So that's going to be wonderful. In
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much. Tomorrow night, I will be with you live, and I have another co-host, Mirabai Devi. You met her last week. She was on Saturday Night on the Saturday night edition of the show last week. Wonderful, wonderful teacher. And we're going to be showing segments from the shows we've done on sacred activism, including Andrew Harvey, Marianne Williamson, John Robbins. It's really beautiful, beautiful segments, but then we'll be live with you chatting. So that'll be tomorrow night's show on the Awakening World. And then on Sunday, it's going to be a live show with my very good friend, Mandolin Reese. And Suzette, you would love this person. She calls herself the street angel. And what she does is she dresses up as an angel in wings, and then she carries signs asking people to be kind and not to bully. And it's like she goes into stadiums and does this. I mean, she's really, really, really something. So anyway, she'll be my guest on Sunday. And you're an earth angel, that's for sure, Suzette. And I know Marianne and Eleanor and so many of the people who watch this show are earth angels. So I thought meeting an earth angel, street angel would be a fun show.
Perfect. Perfect. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Have a beautiful evening. Thanks again, Suzette. And hopefully we'll